And welcome to This is Baltimore 2, where we show you what's good in your Baltimore neighborhood. I'm your host, Odessa Rose, and today we're at Morgan State University talking with Baltimore filmmaker Devin J. Ricks.
Yeah, man, I see everything.
He's known as the Yeah Man, I See Everything guy. His name is Devin J. Ricks, and he's the creator of the popular web TV show DevTV.
DevTV. Yeah, man, I see everything.
Yeah, man, I see everything.
It's no small wonder that Devin sees everything. His job as editor, director, and filmmaker, just to name a few, require him to see everything humanly possible. But the man who built his reputation on seeing everything was blindsided on the night of November 29, 2014, when hundreds of moviegoers packed the Preakness Room in the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel for the premiere of his latest film, Love Cycle's Beautiful Mistake.
Right. People are out. Oh my goodness. Everybody is strutting the red carpet. Work, work, work. Work that red carpet. Yes, I want to see Love Cycle, A Beautiful Mistake.
I didn't see it mainstream. I didn't see anything coming about from it as far as like people coming out doing a premiere. I never saw none of that.
This is the man behind the praise.
So what's up when I say love, you say cycle love.
On the campus of his alma mater, Morgan State University, Devin talks about his journey to that eye-opening blockbuster night.
Morgan was cool. Like, I wish, I was always just go to class, drop home. And then the only time I really chilled on campus was when I would wait for my classes. I had like an hour shower gap. I'd meet up with some of my friends I know up here, and we just, go to the canteen or get something to eat and then go to class. But I'll always go straight home because when I went up here, just during that time, I was just going through a lot. When you go through that, stage in your life when you just gotta be to yourself and figure out life and soul search. That was during my college days. So I wish I was more out. Because when I was in high school, I was the party man. I was doing everything. So when I got to college, everybody was like, so what you doing? What you doing parties? I was like, I ain't doing nothing. They like, what? Damn, you not doing nothing? I was like, they was like, you're not going to pledge? I was like, they said you should do Tampa. And I was like, I was, because I had my shimmy down. Like I used to wind up and then I used to get like that. And I used to, because I was like, yo, because it's like, I could like shimmy real good, but and I really wanted to do it, but I just wasn't in a place to be like real social and things like that. And I had to get back to myself. I was like, Dad, it's not you. Like, you like a party. Like, what's going on? So I just had to figure out, life. And I look back on it like, dang. But that's why, doing movies, I can just recreate anything I want. So I can do like another stomp the yard. I can be like, ooh, ooh, and then just walk up in there and just, and then make a character out of that. So I can just, having that creativity to be a filmmaker, you can just relive moments. So I was like, I'll get it. I get the experience one way or the other. So.
Devin's ability to recreate life experiences with a camera was evident at an early age. One of 5 children, Devin grew up in Baltimore in a close-knit family headed by D. Ron Ricks, an accountant, and kept running smoothly by his stay-at-home mom, Dedra Ricks, who jokingly refers to herself as a domestic engineer. Always an artsy kid, Devin's first foray into visual arts was with a pencil and paintbrush.
First I did, before I got to film and stuff, I started with visual arts. So I was always drawing, sketching, painting, oils and stuff like that.
Now, what was it about film that fascinated you so much about it?
At first, it was the effects. I like, the editing process was always cool.
Yeah.
Now to this day, the editing kind of drains me. So, but at first, I just like the effects, the bombs, and just the different ideas. Mainly the ideas. It was also the editing than the idea part. I didn't have like a professional camera at the time. It was like a Nickelodeon camera, and it was a software called Digital Blue. So it'd be like you hold the button, get the little shots, and then you upload to the computer. And you used to throw like the effects, the bombs, and then the explosions. And I used to like the effects and stuff. And then later on, that's when my parents bought a camcorder just for them, but I would take it and then do projects. And then my dad saw that I was doing a lot of video work, and he bought me my first editing software because I would use like the computer one,
Right.
which wasn't really nothing. And then he bought me a software from Best Buy. It was called Pinnacle. I still use it to this day. When he gave it to me, it was version 9, so now I'm up to like 15, 18, whatever. So I'm actually upgrade to Adobe just to keep it moving up. But he bought me that, and then I started with that, and then I just.
Hey Baltimore, this is your girl Jeanette. You don't know, you haven't heard what? You're watching. This is Baltimore 2.
Devin traded in his pencils, paintbrushes, cloth canvas, and sketchbook for a camera and the small screen. With his parents' camcorder, Devin filmed his projects, which he enlisted his friends and family to star in.
I like to create the skits and get my friends and say, okay, let's do this. Let's go to the woods and let's do a Blair Witch. Okay, let's do this and let's do a skit. Like I used to just pop up with crazy ideas. And then
One of those crazy ideas was a comedy sketch called Yo Mama.
Yo Mama was kind of like a living color with the William brothers. So they just got all their brothers and sisters and did like comical skits, dressed up, stuff like that. So and we actually did that, and I was the camera guy and did the editing.
Yo Mama lasted 4 seasons and intensified Devin's passion for filmmaking. But the same could not be said for his friends and family, whose interest in being TV stars began to wane.
Because I used to make them do it because it was, after a while, I'd be like, come on guys, you guys start shooting. And they're like, I don't want to, Dad, I just want to play video games and stuff like that. And then the crazy thing is, when I actually got over it, like I'm like, all right, I'm not going to force out no more. And then I was done with it. And then maybe a few months later, my older brother, Justin, came up to me and was like, yo, let's do season 5. I'm like, nah, y'all want to do some more. So I was kind of like, I'm done. I'm just focused on movies and stuff. So, yeah.
Focus Devin did. And out of that focus came DevTV.
Yeah, man, I see everything. DevTV.
I don't know why they're mad at me.
See, I didn't even take DevTV serious. It was just something, because when I told you about Yo Mama, when my brothers did the skits, I still wanted to do stuff with the camera. I was like, okay, they're not down no more, so I still want to create. So I would just take the camera and just record stuff where I'm at, like, hey, it's Dev, we here at the concert, and just like, and I was like, yo, who TV? I was like, DevTV, like, it just rolled. So I made like a little like logo, and then I just kept it.
The saying that you say all the time, I see everything.
Yep.
Where did that come from?
It really popped into because I got the yeah man part. My cousins, my cousin Travis, he would be around his friend. He's a rap artist here in Baltimore. He used to be like, yeah man, and he would just make a saying like, yeah man, I'm going to the store, yeah man, and it was catchy. So I was looking like, and then it just flowed together. So I was like, let me use yeah man, and then put my in on it. So I was like, yeah man, I see everything. So then it was like, it flowed, and then I was like, I like it. So then when I started my very first season a few years back, maybe 2010, 11, that's when at the end of every, like, come on, I'll say, yeah, man, I see everything. And then, because I was like, when I had the camera, I would just go around all these places. So I was like, yo, it flows, because it's like, the camera's with me, I'm seeing everything, so it just flowed like that, so.
Devin's audience for his early work was his friends and family. But to make DevTV appeal to a broader audience, he stepped up his game in the way of content.
I know I had to make content that was kind of interesting, because sometimes I have old footage where I'm just, kind of BSing around with the camera, like, it's kind of like, blah, 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 like, and I was like, that's boring, nobody's gonna watch that. So, like, let me make something that's interesting. So that's when I did the Come On, the Fly Nerd.
Can't wait for DevTV to come on. Yo, Fly Nerd. Yo, Fly Nerd. Fly Nerd. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Hey, Devin, how are you doing?
Fly Nerd, one of Devin's most popular characters, began as a crazy idea for a costume.
It was Halloween. One Halloween before I brought him on, we all went to Field of Screams in PA, and I was like, let me dress up, be somebody. So I was like, I ain't get no costume. So I was like, you know what? Put some stuff on and glasses. I was like, yo, I'm Fly Nerd. So I was like, yo, that could be my guy. I could bring in. So that's where it came from. It came from Halloween, and then I just brought him in because I liked how the look was, and it was different. It wasn't me. So
what's going on? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm really here, Devin. You're like the coolest guy ever. Go ahead, give me some, man. Woogity, 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 woogity.
Here we go. I got that from an old show. What was it? Rocket Power. It used to come on back in the 90s, and it's so pretty like, so let me just bring it back.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? This is Showtime, international entertainer. You're watching This is Baltimore 2.
Another of Devin's ideas is the Love Cycle Saga, which include Love Cycle, Teenage Love Story, Love Cycle, The Husband, Love Cycle, Living La Vida Loca, and Love Cycle, Beautiful Mistake.
Well, generally, Love Cycle is a saga, just of stories that deal with love in different lights. So it's like family, friends, relationships. So I want, because I see a lot of people go through a lot of drama and tight emotions, and I was like, well, say if I make a saga or movies that put the story on you know the screen, and that you can feel your way through the situation. So if people haven't been through that situation or currently going through it, they can watch it and then they can better navigate what they should do in that situation. So it can be less drama, less heartache, less disappointment, things like that.
Where do you get your
Devin's ideas for the Love Cycle Saga come from keeping a watchful eye on the people and things around him.
I'm like a creep. I'm not a really creep, but I'll just like kind of stand in the corner or kind of watch situations, stories unfold, and I would take notes. Certain family drama, personal drama, friends drama, and I'll take notes, write it down, and then to this day, even when I go through something like personal, I'll be like, I'll make a good story, but flip it up, don't make it about, you can't make it too close. But I would just take notes, and then I would just create storylines, and then I would just add things to it, like a little concoction, put it in the oven, pop it out. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
All right. Have any of your friends looked at your stuff and say, "Hey, that's my story"?
Yes. Yeah, they would. This current movie I did, Beautiful Mistake. A lot of my friends, females, they would just come up to me because they would like vent to me, just talk about things that they're going on. They said, "I want a guy's perspective." And they would break it down. I would give them my advice and stuff, and then when they see my movies, they'd be like, "Wait a minute, did you take it?" They was like, "I want to check when you get famous." And I'm like, "Okay." So it would be hilarious. A lot of stuff it was from friends, and then things just around general.
Now, how did you feel putting your friends' stories on film?
I didn't feel that cross period. With this movie particularly, I didn't feel that cross period where I was like, oh, they're gonna be mad. Mm-hmm. The movie I did before this, Love Cycle with the Husband, that was a personal situation that I was going through. And I, at the time when you're in your feelings do something, your art can be therapeutic. Mm-hmm. So at the time I didn't think about it. I was just like, let me just get it out, do what I gotta do. And then when it was done, and then a couple of months and years went past, I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But I'm like, it's done now, so I can't do nothing about it. But then I also thought about maybe I shouldn't have done it, but then at the end of the day, I was like, it's life. And that's where movies come from personal or observation and things like that. So that's being an artist, so I was like, I can't really think too much about it because it's done already. So.
Devin had the passion, talent, ideas, confidence, and dedication to take himself seriously as a filmmaker. What he needed next to complete his dream led him to Morgan, where he received a BS degree in broadcasting and integrated media video production.
When I left high school, I went to community college first. I went to CCBC, but I was a part of the Morgan State Connect program. Not trying to say I knew everything, but it's like I had a lot of knowledge, and it's like I just need terminology. I just need more experience, and I was like, I didn't want to do something that was too over the top where I'm like drowning. So I was like, let me just come and just get my degree and just have like a plan B, like a safety net. So it was just kind of like a get it real quick, and then mom, they just like, you gotta go to school, and I want give her a graduation. I was like, all right, cool. So I was one of the first grandkids on my dad's side to graduate, so it was kind of like, so when it was kind of like everybody was waiting at the finish line, like, oh, and that's like, nah, I gotta finish because everyone's waiting. So I was like, because even midway, like maybe sophomore, junior year, I'm that type of person where I quit. It just bothers me if I start something and don't finish. But it was midway. I was like, I don't like doing this no more. So I was like, when I can, I just gotta finish. So it was a nice reward at the end. Everybody came out to cookouts. It was cool.
You're pretty much self-taught. So when you came to Morgan and you got the terminology, what else helped you here?
I know I had a good conversation with one of my professors, MK Asante. He was talking to me about branding and marketing and advertising. So he was like, if DevTV is your brand, you need to do this, that. And I'm kind of like, DevTV's not my brand. Like, what? So I'm kind of like, I don't get it. So I didn't know nothing about branding. So now I take that conversation that was like a few years ago, and then now as I'm moving closer to, my dream, I understand what he was talking about. DevTV is your brand. Make it commercialized. Make it something that's used. So when people look at you, they be like, DevTV, yeah, man, fly nerds. So it's like, it starts picking up. So, yeah.
So where did you learn lighting and all of that? Just by doing it yourself, or when you came to Morgan?
I really got some more depth with it at Morgan, because I would just, before I came to Morgan, I was just into like just the picture part and the editing part. So I really picked on more about sound and lighting. He would teach us about, hitting it on the wall so it can bounce, and then when you got a white wall, it's this. So I'm just looking like, oh, it makes sense. And he would show us, like, see how it goes up, and you see how the light goes there, and I was like, okay, like little techniques. So
Devin's experience at Morgan also included personal interactions with like-minded students.
Just interacting with people that was on the same plane, that wanted to follow communications and video production, broadcasting. Because I've never really been around people. I may have had the actors, but I never knew the people that want to be on the back end. It's always just me by myself carrying all the bags, So it was cool to be around people that were in the same interest field as me. Just talking to them, we spin off ideas, and then working with them in classes, doing class projects, and then talking to my professors, because now I'm saying this, it was weird because I think the professors, they can, I guess, feel when you got energy going on, or you see like a pupil in the classroom. Because I would kind of butt heads with some professors, and then they'll come up to me like, why I'm picking on you, why I'm being so hard on you, because I like you, man. I was like, you was kind of pissing me off. I was like, you being hard, like, for no reason. Like, everyone else is just chilling or whatever, but you be on me like, redo this, or take this out, put it on a diet. And I'm like, yo, why you getting on me, man? He's like, I just want you to be, I see something. So now, as things are coming in more manifestation out, maybe they saw something in me that I didn't see at the time. So, and then having conversations with, like I said, MK Asante, when I had to do his I Am Morgan piece. One class we had to do I Am Morgan people, and we just got, and then our group did MK Asante, and nobody was available to go because he wanted to go to a studio downtown. So nobody had a car, nobody had ever had class at the time. I said, I'll just go by myself. So we just had on that one-on-one time when he was talking about branding and getting things together. So I always remember that moment because he gave me a lot of knowledge in a short amount of time, but I appreciated it, and it got me like, okay, so.
Good evening, Baltimore. This is Priscilla Johnson, and you're watching This is Baltimore 2.
Change the number! Okay, stop the car! Talk about him and spoke to Trevor since that night.
You're lying!
I'm not!
After graduating from Morgan with more than just terminology, Devin set his sights on making a feature film, and soon came the idea for Love Cycle, Beautiful Mistake.
I said, okay, just think about love, and then some things that happened to me, and then, like I said, I was being a creep, observing and taking notes, and then I just bombarded it all together. And I wanted the storyline that I seen a lot of people go through, because a lot of my friends, they would come to me to talk about, I want a God's perspective. I was like, I have a lot of male problems. I was like, okay, let's take it where it's taken forefront from a girl's point of view, and then she's dealing with her boyfriend. And then since, coming from when he kept getting my opinion, like what you should do, like if you were doing this, and I had to kind of turn myself inside out, kind of put myself where the girl was at, and then flip it, and then do it like that. And the girls, they just loved it. It was like, oh my God, you understand this? Oh my God. So it was just like, okay, so it's like a magnet, So it was cool. So I just made that, and yeah, it was a good process. So, yeah.
How long did it take you to write the script?
I had the ideas bumping in my head for maybe a month or so, but actually, when I wanted to dump it all out on paper, maybe about 3 weeks. I just splat it out because I was just going. And when your mind going, it's just like you can't stop. That's if I stop and forget what I want to put. Right. So I would just have it out, and then one of my professors taught me. He said just get it out, clean it up, rewrite it, remove it, and then so I just dumped it out, and I did a little editing, cleaned it up, moved this scene up here, moved that scene down, and then closed it out. Yeah.
How did you get the cast for the film?
I did a mini casting call. no, that many people didn't come out to that one, so I was like, okay, let me just start pulling my resources as far as like people that have been with me from my other movies and things like that. So the main girl, Noelle, she was with me since my first movie back in '09. So I was like, I'd really depend on her. I was like, she's doing all my movies, so I was like, I can pull her. I was like, I know she'll be down to help. But she was like, yeah, Dev, I got you. And I was like, all right, cool. The main guy interviewed him at the station, and then we just exchanged social media accounts. And I was just strolling through Instagram, like, okay, I need a male lead and blah blah blah. So then I came across this page, like, oh, duh. So I clicked on his Instagram, saw he did some camera work, and I was like, okay. So I was like, do you interested in doing a movie? He said, I did something small but never a feature. And I was like, you'll be fine. I'm like, come on. I said, acting's natural. Everyone's an actor, So he's like, I'll try it. So he jumped in, and then I was like, okay, now I gotta find the homegirls and the homeboys, and I was like, all right, that would be cool. So I just kind of said, anybody want to do a movie? And they was like, cool.
Where did you film it?
I was all around Baltimore. I went to went down near Murray's. We was down Liberty Heights. Went around Park Heights. I just want to showcase all of Baltimore. I went downtown by the harbor. I was down by the Ravens Stadium, Orioles Stadium, because I had one of the homes where the main character stayed at. I rented out a home.
How did you shoot those scenes where you were in restaurants and things like that?
All right, the first one there was a Hip Hop Chicken. I was scouting around trying to find areas, and then I went into one of the Hip Hop Chickens. I went to a couple fast food spots by maybe Liberty Road, the shopping center, Greek Village. I went in there, went to this Asian lady. She was like, no, we're not doing that. And I told her, she said, what are you doing it for? At the time, I was still in school. No, I wasn't in school at the time, but I told her it was for a project, right? So I was like, okay. She was like, okay, project. She said, what's the name of the movie? I said, Love Cycle, Beautiful Mistake. She said, oh, sounds dirty. Sounds like a nasty movie. I was like, no, it's not. So I was like, yo. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we dipped out of there. So then I went to another one. I said, it's the last one walking into, guys, because I didn't know at the time, so we just wanted to try it out. This one guy, I told him it was for, whatever. He's like, yeah, man, come on in. Come back in around maybe around close, and around 30 minutes before close, an hour. All he needs an hour. I was like, yeah, it's real quick. Boom, boom, boom. So he said, yeah, come on in. So he came on in. He said, what you need, man? Turn TV off. Don't want no sound. I was like, nah, man. So everything was just really just coming together. So he was down. The other one, when I went to News and Company, I was like, I can't keep pressing my luck. So I said, we're going to have to try something with this. So I was like, all right, what we're going to do is order food. Go on one of the cuts in the back, and then we just act like we chilling, but we recorded the whole time. So I was like slumped like this, trying to get my angles right. And I said, y'all just act natural, like we eating, we chilling. Cause I said, if you get food, they won't bother you. So I was like, you can't just walk in and just loiter.
Yeah.
You gotta eat, you gotta do something. So I said, y'all just act natural. Somebody come over, just be like, we chilling. So you gotta be cool.
How did you fund this film?
Okay, so I had money saved up. I was always just stacked, just like rainy days or whatever. So it was planned for the movie, and then I hit a little bump, got in a little situation, and I had to flush out that savings. And I was like, damn. So I was mad. I had money a little left over, but that would just been all of me, and I was like, I can't. That would be irresponsible to spend all of that and not have anything. So what I did, I spent what I could, and I picked up extra hours before I started. Just started racking in as much as I can, and then I started, the movie. And I had a lot of favors. People wanted to be a part of it. Makeup, looked out. I just, fed them. As far as people that would help me out like makeup, I would, pay for their supplies or certain things that they actually bought for my movie. And I was like, okay, I can give you money for that. So it was just like a lot of favors, a lot of generosity. Even with the guy with the house, he gave me a wonderful discount. So it was like everything was kind of looking out. All right, but then I really started dipping low, and I was like, I went to my dad. I was like, yo, in the process, like I pay you back whenever I get it. And he was like, all right, cool. So the actual movie getting done, that was cool. And then when I got to the premiere, that's when it started hitting. I was like, I need these credit cards. Like my mom introduced that to me, credit cards. She said, you should start doing it now because they can start building your credit, and then when you start moving out, you can have credit, whatever. So, did that, and then I maxed those out, and I was like, I need some more money. I was like, because it was getting expensive. Like the premiere part, that was like the most expensive part. That was than anything, because they say the venue was one thing, and then later on, the taxes, and then went up to almost like another 2,000. I was like, yo, that's not what you told me. But then it's kind of like I already made the flyers. So I was like, I can't pull out of that. I was like, we got to keep going. And my mom was just like, yeah, man, do what you got to do. So I was like, all right, thank you. So we got that done. I said, I don't know how. I don't know when, but it will get paid back.
Your parents, your family, are so supportive and loving. And if every filmmaker, every person, period, had parents like yours, everybody would just soar. So just give it up to your parents. I mean, because this whole time you just said, from the beginning, your parents had your back. You know, and this is what I want to do. Okay, here. All right, and we're going to help and we're going to support you. That's awesome. And so I commend your parents for that.
Thank you, Amy Lou. Yeah. Yes. They had me, and you know, hearing you say that, and you know, it just makes you think about all of it. And then if I keep talking, it's going to come down. So I'm gonna pull up real quick. But
I'm gonna make you do it.
No. But it's real, and I appreciate them, you know, having my back and rocking with me. And it was hard for them because because it's like you're gambling. It's like you're playing you don't want to put all your money and then it just break down. Right. And I was like, you know, you guys, I said, you trust me enough? I was like, please, you know, I went to school, like I did what I was supposed to do, like let me rock this out real quick before I rush to the 9 to 5. So they just said, come on, and you know, and then I'm like, all right, let's rock. And you know what they say with like some religion, they say the children pick their parents, you know, before you come down here. So I said, for what I know, what I'm doing in life, and I said, I picked you guys for a reason. I was like, it's time to prove it. And then it had the premiere, you know, sold out show, boom, it was fireworks. And then it went by so quick, and I was like, all that money, all that time, and it was over. I was like, oh, it's like a drug. Like, why do I put myself there, do all that work, and then just for like 2 hours in one fortnight?
But how did those 2 hours feel?
A rush. It was a rush. I was feeling every emotion. When everybody was getting ready and everybody was outside and they had the music playing, they was like, give it up for the cast. Walked outside. It was like a roller coaster. Here you go. Here you go. Like, so I walked up like, yo, what?
Thank you for bringing out that character.
You know, I was bringing that one.
We went to the after party and we was all just chilling. We was like, we looked at each other like, we did it tonight, y'all. I was like, and then at the end, I went back to the hotel where I had it at, and I just sat in the room with nobody there, and I just looked at like, what did I do tonight? Like, it was just like, I was like, did that just happen? Like, it was so weird. And then I had the balloons in the premiere that, you know, from Party City, and I tied one of my tickets to the balloon, and you know, I made a little wish, and I kissed it, and I let it go, and then it flew up, and I said, this is night. And you know, I get a little emotional talking about it because when I did that, you know, that's when things started really coming my way, and it's like you just let the energy go into the universe. So it was a great night. It was a great night.
Devin may not have seen that night coming, but he can look back on it and see where he's been and where he's headed.
To infinity and beyond, and you can have anything you want if you put your mind to it, all right? Let's take a bow. Take it to the moon, I'm free, it's over, I'm done, we out.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you for joining us, and please tune in again so we can show you what's good in your Baltimore neighborhood.